Hello my dear students, this is Anju Sharma back again with another video. This video is my books part 3 from your English course book New Mulberry. Poem number 1, my books, followed by chapter number 1. In this video class today we are going to discuss question answers. So children, I would like to request you to open your book at page number 28. So children, our first exercise is making connections. First question is, name two things that books are compared to in the poem. Yes, it's very easy, I think. Everybody knows. Name two things that books compare to in the poem. The two things that books compare to in the poem are homes and a city street. Clear? Homes and a city street. Now come to second question. In the poem, find A, the opposite of the word ordinary. Ordinary is also a very common word, but you have to tell here opposite of the ordinary. Opposite of the ordinary is quaint. Quaint, or you can say strange also. Quaint, strange. Clear? Now B part is synonym of the word twisting. Synonym means same meaning. What is the meaning of same meaning of twisting? Synonym of the twisting is winding. Clear? Winding. Now come to C part, two pairs of rhyming words. I think all of you know. Two pairs of rhyming words are call, small, homes, gnomes, street, meet, many are here. Okay. Now come to question number 3. Read these lines and answer the questions that follow. Now first I am going to explain you these lines. I love my books. They are the homes of queens and fairies, knights and gnomes. So in these lines, poet explains here that he loves books. Books make him happy. He loves to read them because by reading books, he comes to know about the different kinds of stories about queens, fairies, knights and gnomes. Do you know the meaning of fairy? Yes, fairy is a small creature with wings and having a magic power. And another word is knights. Knights also, I have explained you in the poem also. Soldiers who rode horses and fought battles long time ago. Soldiers in past time who rode horses and fought battles. Next is gnomes. Gnomes also, you know, gnomes. Gnomes is also an imaginary very small creature who wears always a pointed hat, and it is said to they live in the depth of the earth or under the ground. So children, here poet explains that he loves books. Books make him happy. He loves to read them because by reading books he comes to know about the different kinds of stories about queens, fairies, knights and gnomes. So in the base of these lines, we'll have some questions. A part, how does the narrator feel about books? How does the narrator feel about books? Yes, it is true that the narrator loves books. How? Because the poet tells us through the poem that he loves the story of queens, fairies, knights and gnomes also. So the answer of this question is the narrator seems to love books. Clear? Now come to B part. List the characters that the poet has read about. This is also a very simple question. The poet mentioned in this poem that he has read about queens and fairies, knights and gnomes. So the answer of this question is, some of the characters that the poet has read about are queens and fairies, knights and gnomes. Now children, C part, what kind of books do you think the poet is describing in these lines? Name such book that you have read. This question is divided into two parts. So first part is, what kind of books do you think the poet is describing in these lines? Do you know children? What kind of books do you think the poet is describing in these lines? Well, the poet seems to be describing fantasy books. Fantasy means a book that tells a story about things that happen in an imaginary world. So, the poet seems to be describing fantasy book about adventures in the poem. So, I think next part is, name one such book that you have read. One such book that he has read is Harry Potter. Okay. Now next is, come to question number 4. Who welcomes in the poet? What do you think the expression hearty hand means? Yes, who welcomes? Who welcomes the poet, children? Well, a strange person. A stranger welcomes the poet. Do you know the meaning of hearty hands? Well, hearty hand means friendly. So, what do you think the expression? Hearty hand means friendly. So now I think 2 questions are left. Now children, come to question number 5. How is reading a book like having an adventure? How is reading a book like having an adventure? According to the poet, reading a book is like an adventure because a book may make one experience living in new strange lands and meeting strange characters. When he goes to strange lands, he meets there the strange characters. So I think it is clear to you. According to the poet, reading a book is like an adventure. Why? Because a book may make one experience living in new strange lands and meeting strange characters. Now children, here is the last question. What books do you enjoy reading? I enjoy reading storybooks, or you can write here fairy books, or fairy tales, or you can write here many books are poetry books, rhyming books, any book, picture books you can write. I enjoy reading storybooks, or you can write whatever you want to write, you can write the name of the books. The Magical Tree House and Sleeping Beauty, etc. means these are the name of the books. Books are the source of knowledge. They are like our two friends. Why they are why we feel like this? They are our friend because whenever we free, we can engage ourselves in books. So that's why they are like our true friends. And books take us to a magical world which is full of fun and adventure. So we can enjoy there. In our imaginary world, we can enjoy there. So children, I think this is enough for today's class. In next video class, we'll discuss the remaining exercises. Thank you for watching.